Howdy folks, welcome to the brewery. Thanks for joining me for a beer on a very warm Sunday afternoon in the hilltops. Tasting day on these two. Been keen to get this one done. This is the fresh walk kits from Chris down there at Nowronian. I think this is the second fresh walk kit that he done in the new shop. I'll put a link up to the brew day when I put this fella together. But just a quick recap on the beer. Chris approached Jervis Bay Brewing in Huskisson to do fresh walk kits for him when he got the new shop. They agreed with it, and that was no problem. So he went ahead. I'm pretty sure this was their second kit that he had done, and the brewer had put it together and said, okay, you can use this base as an XPA by adding, some hops to it, and he recommended, some hops to use, or you could leave it and do it as a pilsner, and just hop it with a little bit of, traditional pilsner type hops. You could, and you could juice up a little bit, or you could just leave it as is and just brew it as it is, as a straight up sort of a lager type of brew. So I got him. I brewed it up as the XPA and as the pilsner. So I split it in half. So it's a typical 15-16 litre fresh wort kit. Took out the 20 litres, got 10 litres into to the Keg King Juniors. The first one next to the XPA, which is this fella. It's quite a juicy and hazy looking number. Haven't got much head because I only just got these on the tap on Friday evening. I was waiting for kegs to blow on in the end. I had three kegs blew in a 48 hour period, which let me get them on. But when I was doing just a flush of the lines initially, this was quite gassy. So I purged the keg, I bled the PRV off and took the actual gas line off and let it sit initially, and forgot to put the gas line back on at all. So it's lost just a little bit of its gas, and it didn't pour real quick, so it hasn't had quite the agitation it would like. But it's looking alright. There's a bit of chill haze on the glass. That's the Pilsner version. So these have only been on the tap for, well, under 48 hours. About 45 hours, 46 hours. So this fella got added to the base kit. Obviously got the top up of water. It got a little bit of Dex, a little bit of light dry malt, 100 grams of each, and 50 grams of some dry wheat. So I think that's half a batch. So that would have been 200 of the Dex, 200 light dry malt, and 100 of the wheat malt in a full batch. So half a kilo of additional fermentables. There was a boil done with 20 grams each of Citra, Galaxy, and Strata, and that was added along with the fermenter. Started at 1048 with USO 5 and fermented down to 1012 for an ABV of 4.7 in the keg. And that's it. So again, not a massive amount of heavy hopping, but again, that 20 grams, that's 60 grams in a half batch, so it would be 120 grams in a full batch. There's not a huge amount of hop note, but there is a nice little bit of fruitiness going on. Let's have a go at it. Now this was kegged on the 10th of October, so it's about 6 weeks old. So I would have rather got this on a little bit earlier, but just couldn't get the keg space. Turned out that bunch of kegs were getting quite evenly drunk, which is unusual. Normally there's like one sort of drops a bit quicker, but happens. We got there, so that's not bad. It's got nice notes. It's possibly a little bit of grassy note on the hop itself. It's not a lot. And it's possible that hop may have been better as a maybe a split between the boil and a dry hop, doing half and half. But that's a quite drinkable beer. It's quite crushable. It's light without being, you know, flimsy. And at 10-12, it's got some body. Could play around a little bit with the hop combination, yeah, for personal preference. But that's quite a tasty beer. And for me, it doesn't have the heaviness that I quite often associate with and find with fresh wort kits. They can be I find they tend to be a little bit heavy in the malt and a little bit, you know, thick in the body. I think not all of them, and that, you know, varies from kit to kit. But that's a general experience I can quite often get with a lot of kits, a lot of fresh worts. But that's not certainly showing that. But anyway, the Pilsner version. So again, we've got the half batch, 100 grams of Pilsner malt, 50 grams of Dex, so 300 grams all up if you're doing a full batch, 200 of the light Pilsner malt and 100 of Dex. There was a 5-minute boil with 20 grams of SARS. Actually, it was a 10-minute boil for the SARS. So just a light one. Started at 1046, fermented with 3470. And fermented down to 1010. Gets us 4.7, same ABV as the XPA. So they're both sitting in a nice range. They're full strength without being, you know, too strong. You could still, you know, have a reasonable session on them. They're not lightish in any way. That did pour a nicer head initially, and again, that's only a bloody, like I said, semantics is basically a bit of a play up with the gas, but again, not a lot of nose on there. Little bit of malt and just a little bit of hop, but it's fairly nondescript. It's not a real clear cut exactly what you sort of what the nose is. It's clear while still being a little bit hazy, and again, that's going to come down from, you know, being shuffled around and getting put in the fridge just 2 days ago. But you can see it's well less hazy than the XPA, so it should settle quite nice over the next bloody week or two. Let's have a go at it. Okay, that's nice. That's not a bad drop. That's a tasty Pilsner style beer. It could be a bit crisper, but realistically, that's, yeah, it's not neither here nor there. You just simply say it's a lager, and you're getting around that issue, and it's probably more lagerish than Pilsner as such. It's not overly bitter up front. There's enough there that it's, yeah, it does the job initially. It could do, I think, a little bit more. You know, if you really want to stand it up as a Pilsner / lager, maybe 2x dry beer. It's not a lot in it, and I said, given they've played around to get you an option for 2 different beers, I think the brewer down there at JB's done a pretty good job. They do a nice lager. They put their Point Perp Pilsner. I really enjoy it. I think that's the best beer they do. And that's, in all honesty, it's a little bit reminiscent of that beer. It's got nice roundness. There's a nice little bit of hop finish without being overpowering. You know, if I said it's a SARS, you've got that noble sort of finish, but there's no real SARS pepper that can come along with it. It's not grassy in any way. It's just a nice, soft, pillowy sort of a finish. Really, really nice on the mouth. Really nice to drink. So, for me, that is definitely a big win. The XPA side, I think, would need a little bit of playing around with aren't going to work with personal preference. But still a nice drink. That's going to be quite refreshing. Well, it's a hot day. It is refreshing. And it is a fairly big hop charge, 120 grams. It's not a small hop charge. I think you could drop it back a little bit, which would reduce that bitey bit a little bit. Like I said, I'll split it between the boil and dry to bring some more of the aroma in and that later flavour. That certainly wouldn't hurt it. But as it is, it's a good drop. So, from me, the thumbs up. Chris, well done, mate. Yeah, you've got another good brew. I'd happily brew those and have those on tap, anytime. They're beers you'd happily give to family and friends, no problem at all. Yeah, and say you made it. Yeah, I know the whole argument, you didn't quite make it yourself, but anyway, plenty of brewers out there to brew with fresh wort kits. And if you want to say you made it yourself, fine, you made it yourself. You did, you fermented it, you packaged it, you served it up, good enough. So yeah, thumbs up. If you're down that south coast of New South Wales, you can get into Nowronian. I'll put a link down the bottom. Like I said, the shop's only new. It's not super easy to find, but you put the address into your GPS and it'll fucking point you right to the front door. And when you get there, tell Chris that Little John sent me. He's got fresh wort kits turning over regularly. He's doing them fresh. He's not doing a lot of the go, so they're turning over nice and fresh. And he's a good fella. He's having a good crack, and he wants to look after his customers. And he likes to make good beer, and he's got good beer here. So have a crack at it. You got any comments, any questions? Stick them down the bottom. Thumbs up to Little John's patrons as always. Guys, thanks for the support, keeps the channel going. If you'd like to be involved in Patreon, there's a link down the bottom. If you subscribe to the channel, thank you. If you aren't, hit the subscribe button down the bottom. Hit the notification bell, that way you don't miss any videos. And if you like what's going on, give us a thumbs up. But for now, I'm going to sit back, I'm going to finish these two, while away the end of this bloody hot weekend. Our first real good stinking hot weekend for the weekend. Give us a little bit of a hint of summer to come. But until I see you in the next video, when we're I don't know, brewing beer, drinking beer, or talking beer, good brewing. Cheers all.